Second one we covered was lust. And how many of us was able to say, yeah, that's the issue too, you know? How many of you, when we started this, did not think that gluttony would be an issue for you? Sadly, the more I study, the more issues I have. It, the more I study, the more issues I have. He just keeps revealing and revealing. And I didn't even realize how gluttonous I was. The word itself, gluttony, what does that mean? Anybody realize what gluttony means? Just the word itself. Not with the video, but from when you heard the word gluttony or gluttonous, what is, no, not growing up, from now, before we get into the lesson.
And like engorging.
Gorging,
Overdue.
overdue.
Yeah, like to overdo something.
Oh, overdoing.
Obsession.
Obsession,
Addiction. Addiction.
addiction.
Like you lack self control, pretty much.
Lack of self-control. What you got there, Malachi? I can't get all the way down there. Send it out, send it out.
Greed.
Greed. Greed, which is another spirit, right? Addiction. Addiction kind of goes along with lust, doesn't it? You know? Oh, It's not the same.
Never satisfied, always wanting more.
Now that's. She said never satisfied, always want more. But isn't that lust? Lust can never be satisfied. It always wants more. It's a bottomless pit that can never be filled. Addiction goes along with lust because you want what you want when you want it, right? Obsessive goes along with lust and greed, right? Gorging goes along with lust and greed. Overdoing. Because some folks are gluttonous for attention. Thank you. I don't want us to get caught on gluttony being just about food. You can be gluttonous about attention. Come on, we know we got y'all attention seekers in here. You just want somebody to look at you. You want somebody to give you admiration. Gluttonous. Gluttonous could be about alcohol, right? Sex could start out with being lustful. Start out with being prideful, lustful then prideful, and then gluttonous. Just straight up greedy. Because you start to have intercourse with people that you really don't want, that you don't even enjoy. It's just about conquering, greedy, want more.
Is it possible for you to be gluttonous towards sex in a marriage or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain that to me?
Because in a marriage, the Bible says that your body doesn't belong to you, it belongs to your spouse. Which means we are to satisfy each other's needs, but you cannot be a nympho and expect your spouse to meet your need. I said you can't be a nymphomaniac and get mad because your spouse don't want to do it 4 or 5 times every day.
So is there like a I'm trying to figure out how to word this the best way. Is there like a godly amount? Like
Woo!
that Jesus like I'm saying like will like it like is it
Boy, you
possible
don't put me on the spot.
is it possible that like that a husband and a wife both like to do it a lot and God is
Oh,
like
they can do it
and
as much as they want
and
to.
God is saying like okay now it's time to pray y'all.
See,
You know
that's the
what I'm saying?
thing. No. You can't do it too much for God unless you just doing that all day and never giving him no time. God is first. And if you're doing it all day, you're going to be too tired for God. You know? Huh? What have you prayed before? Thank you, Jesus, for waking me up this morning. Pat, 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 pat.
And after this
Okay, so hold on. So listen. So listen. As long as both partners want it, that's what matters. And sometimes one could really not want it, but you make sacrifices for your partner. But that partner can't expect you to make obsessive sacrifices. That's just being greedy. Okay?
Okay, now this one is really I'm really happy I get to ask you this one.
You ready to put me on the spot again.
So this one is it greedy to want your spouse to do oral sex because I was taught from previous leadership that that's a sin. Like it's considered copulation, sodomy, you know, and you're not allowed to do that. And then I looked up the definition of copulation and sodomy. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. You know, like I didn't know it go that deep.
Okay? What I am going to say to that is a man wants a lady in the streets. And y'all know the rest. The marriage bed is undefiled. Nothing is off the table unless one doesn't want it. Yeah. Nothing is off the table. Undefiled means unlimited. It means unlimited. So that means as long as the wife and the husband agree to this act, if you fought, I don't need all these amens. I won't need them. No, I won't. Y'all just love this. Y'all love this. Oh, I heard Tony way above him. So you know what I'm saying? So as long as both agree to whatever act it is, it's not invading or violating either person. As long as you agree to it, that's your place. For what? No,
I'm just okay. I was like, cause that.
you can't go to hell for doing that for her.
Okay.
As long as she your wife. What'd you say, eating box? You said eating box? That what he said?
Yeah, but that's a term. That's a term. That's a term.
I was lost. It's a box now? I ain't got no box. Forget all that. Y'all better call it what it is. You gonna put some respect on that name. Hey, he asked the question, I answered it. Y'all acting like that with me. He asked the question. Now, I say again, the marriage bed is undefiled. As long as both agree to what act is done in your bed. That's between y'all and God. And he said that is your unlimited zone. Now, how we got all the way over there from Gluttony, I don't know. But I'm going to swim back to the shore. That's what I give for bringing the mic out to the crowd. Yeah. So, Beelzebub. That is the name for the demon, Beelzebub. Beelzebub. Now, I thought Beelzebub was something else, before I began to study this. But because if you remember, in the Bible, when Jesus was casting out demons, the Pharisees accused him of casting out demons through the power of Beelzebub. Right? And a lot of people confuse Beelzebub and the devil. They confuse those two. They just demons. A lot of times, demonic figures come through mythology. And Beelzebub started in mythology as a god. And so they say that he was lowered from a god to a demon. But I'm not really into mythology, but I wanted to understand why he was considered as a dropout, as a lost rank. So then I had to read where it came from. Well, he's a fallen angel, but all the angels are the same. But he's called the once God. His name also is the Lord of the Flies. Yeah, it's a movie. See, y'all got to watch how they slick this movie stuff in. Beelzebub's name is the Lord of the Flies. And they cross him with Baal as well. Baal is the god that did all the orgies. And so what they do is they because Beelzebub is Beel Zebub. And then you got Baal that is a Beel, but sometimes it's spelled Ba. So it's a bunch of confusion. But his job, nevertheless, ain't confusing. He know his job, and he do his job faithfully on us and through us. In the demonic world, Beelzebub is Satan's A1 day one. He's Satan's best friend. That's his best bud. That's just in a separate reading that, but not in my lesson, but that's his ace. That's the one he trusts above all other demons. Yeah. Yeah. He the father of lies and he the father of flies. True that. All right, so Beelzebub, which is the demon of gluttony. All right. They're trying to pull up the rest of my stuff. I don't have my pictures and stuff tonight, y'all, because I ain't get to finish it. The fifth demon prince is Beelzebub, the lord of gluttony. Another name may also see is the lord of the flies or lord of flyers, which refers to his ability to fly. He has wings that actually work. Beelzebub is the demon lord of gluttony, a demon known for overindulgence. Overindulgence. Not eating, but overindulgence. That's why I said, don't think that gluttony is just about food. Because I said, they're going to come in tonight like, man, I don't have a problem overeating. I'm good. No, it's overindulgence in anything. In anything. Excessive desire, not for food and drink, but for the pleasure obtained by eating and drinking. While gluttony is most often associated with overeating, and drunkenness is also a consequence of gluttony. Now, we said earlier, it's not about the food and drink, but the pleasure obtained by eating and drinking. It's not about the sex, but the pleasure obtained. You get caught up in the pleasure. So therefore, when you're eating, okay, I'll give you an example. This is the first thing that came to mind when I was eating last week at the retreat, right? That Tuesday night, when I took a bite of that macaroni and cheese, I was just, I didn't even take another bite. I was stuck in the pleasure of the food, not eating the food. Whoa. I was stuck in the pleasure, not the food itself. Because food is not for our pleasure. Food is for our existence. We have to eat to live, not live to eat. I know it'll be good. But that sin is good. Yeah. So that, see, we're getting caught up on the food itself, not realizing that it's pleasure that the enemy wants you to desire. It's the pleasure of what you want. Excessive of anything is too much. It's gluttony. Of anything. If you sit here and drink a whole gallon of water, that's gluttonous. If you sit right there and just drink it, you're not thirsty. You just gonna sit there and force it down. That's gluttonous. You're supposed to eat and drink to obtain nutrients in order to be able to keep your temple for the work of God. That is the purpose of eating and drinking. Not for pleasure. I know we don't think that way, but let me help you. Marriage ain't about pleasure. See, that's why we have so many divorces, because people just say, well, I'm just not happy. Marriage ain't about being happy. Marriage is supposed to be about coming together to fulfill the will of God. That's why you got to know where you're going before you can get who you're going with. Otherwise, you get hitched to somebody that disrupts your purpose. And what's life without purpose? Absolutely nothing. Okay? It's the desire. Because see, if you give in to desire for one thing, it is easy for you to give in desire for another thing. So the enemy only wants you to follow your desires. Following your desires makes you prideful. Following your desires makes you lustful. Following your desires make you gluttonous. Following your desires makes you greedy. Following your desires make you slothful. Every one of the seven is tied to following your desires. No self-control. Listen. If you can lose control in this area, he know how much easier it is to make you lose control over here. And if you don't lost control here and here, it's easy to say, I'm just going to do what I want over there. He wants you to go after your own desires. Not the desires of God, but your own desires. That's why a lot of times people leave church, they just want to tell people what to do. Baby, for some of y'all and y'all attitude, I'd be happy if you had a man. I mean, I'd be shouting beside you. Thank God she got a man. Thank God he finally got a woman. Thank God. It's not that I don't want you to have somebody. I just know if you had the wrong somebody, then you're going to create a different problem for us. Beelzebub is a figure who can be traced back through numerous civilizations and religions. In the Testament of Solomon, he is a fallen angel, often associated with Lucifer. He doesn't necessarily have a particular domain, he just behaves in a generic demonic manner, causing men to worship demons and turn on each other, succumbing to lust, jealousy, murder, just an all around troublemaker. Because if you succumb to your desires, you will just be an all around troublemaker. Nobody else matters. Nobody else's feelings matters. Nothing. It's all about you, oh yeah, and you. That's why it says he has no particular domain, meaning he only moves in this area because the area he's moving in is desires. So that can go anywhere. The Dutch demonologist Jonathan Veer saw him as the chief lieutenant to Lucifer, and integral to a successful revolt against the devil. So he was his second lieutenant when the war came, the war in heaven. He was his executive officer on the war in heaven. And with his CO, he got kicked out. When he is not causing jealous murders and enticing war, he's making you eat more Cheetos with your Denny's Grand Slam. Gluttony is an acceptable sin in the church today. That's not how God sees the sin of gluttony in our midst. I imagine that God might say to the church, I really don't like all the fat slopping around the kingdom. Fat and sloppiness around the kingdom. I tell you, I ain't get to proof it tonight. 1 Corinthians 3:16 and 17 is addressed to the church. Do you not know, because y'all was all up in my verses tonight, do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's spirit dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him. For God's temple is holy and you are that temple. And so when I tell people all the time, the word say, if you destroy the temple, he'll destroy you. They be like, I don't know. It's in there. That means when you do things that are harmful to your own body, then you're asking God to destroy you in that body. Okay? I don't want to get into that. From the 19th, from 1 Corinthians 6 chapter, verse 19 and 20, it addresses the individuals. Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body. So if God paid for your body, then who should get the glory for it? From it, in it, through it. Okay? So, do you ever fast for God? Let me tell y'all something. This year's Daniel fast was that word. It was a catastrophe. We had leaders on down, didn't even try to fast a week. It was, and needless to say, we didn't see any results. Usually at the end of our Daniel fast, it'd be like a spirit that fly through here. Well, I'm sure we didn't get corporate results because we didn't have corporate participation. See, there's a difference between an individual blessing and a corporate blessing. Corporate blessing is on a much bigger scale. But in order for us to get that corporate blessing, we have to be corporate. So we missed that blessing this year, corporately. It is traditional to fast. It's tradition. Even in the Bible, when Jesus was walking with the disciples, the Pharisees came trying to start stuff again, talking about why we don't see your disciples fasting. He said, go on with them. They don't need to fast for me when I'm walking with them, right? It is important to fast because fasting combats gluttony. Fasting combats gluttony. Why is it? Because fasting tells your flesh, you are not in charge, I am. You are not in charge, I am. You see, flesh goes after what it desires. You have to figure out which one you want to be stronger. Because whichever one you feed, I tell you all the time, whichever one you feed is going to be the strongest. If you feed your flesh more, your flesh is going to be stronger. If you feed your spirit more, your spirit is going to be stronger. And a lot of y'all need to realize that your flesh been beating the crap out your spirit because you ain't feeding your spirit. That's why you fall into the same cycles, doing the same mess, the same stuff take you out all the time. You up on a high today, and tomorrow you done fell into your depressive low because you are not beating down your flesh. If your spirit man is stronger, your spirit man will always keep you on a high. You can tell that you're not feeding that your spirit man because your flesh is what takes you on the low. Gluttony, if we're striving for sainthood or being close to God. We cannot just blend into mediocrity. Many of us are living in an economically privileged position. Gluttony is the norm, and because we're so surrounded by it, we don't even realize how bad it is. Gluttony is a norm now. It's so normal that to not eat is an abnormal. To not do what makes you happy is abnormal. Ezekiel, the 16th chapter, verses 49 and 50 from the Message Bible says, the sin of your sister Sodom was this. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah? He burnt up the entire place. Remember? This was their sin. She lived with her daughters in the lap of luxury, proud, gluttonous, and lazy. They ignored the oppressed and the poor. They put on airs and they live obscene lives. And you know what happened? I did away with them. This is God speaking, y'all. He's saying, I destroyed that entire city. I burned the city that I only saved Lot and his 2 daughters out of an entire city because they were prideful, they were gluttonous, lazy. They lived these obscene lives, wasting. They would waste food. They would be gluttonous and then waste food and have people on the streets that were starving and would not feed them. When God sees that you are obsessive and you have overindulgence, but yet you see your brother or your sister who is in need or starving and you won't help them, he looks at you like he looked at Sodom. I mean, if we ever wondered why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. They were lazy, eating, lazy, prideful. Find yourself. Find yourself. Proud, greedy, lazy. So are you wasteful? Spending money on extravagant meals, then refusing to feed the poor and hungry is the problem. St. Paul also mentions gluttony. In 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, verses 26 and 27, NIV says, therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. Don't even know where to go. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body. I make it my slave so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. He says the only way that I can survive after teaching everybody else how to survive is to beat up my flesh. Otherwise, I'm teaching you how to survive, but I'm going to hell. And from the Message Bible, I just thought it sounded real good, so I want to make sure we got it. It says, I don't know about you, but I'm running hard for the finish line. I'm giving it everything I've got. No lazy living for me. I'm staying alert and in top condition. I'm not going to get caught napping, telling everyone else all about it, and then missing out myself. You know those people that is always preaching to you when you down, but then if you try to preach to them when they down, don't nobody want to hear that. But then you just, I don't need no scripture right now. Wait a minute, you hypocrite. Because every time I'm down, you trying to give me a scripture. You know? But here, when I try to give you what you give me, then you talking about don't nobody want to hear that. It's trying to make you say, This is talking so vividly about fasting and not cutting, getting caught with gluttony in order to spiritually flourish and better serve God. This is talking about him beating up, him starving his flesh. I know we didn't look at it like this, but he's talking about I'm beating up my flesh. How do you beat up your flesh? You starve it. And he says, I have to starve my flesh in order to be in the best position I can to be used by God. God can't use me when my flesh is strong. I'm going to repeat. God can't use me when my flesh is strong. So in order for me to be used by God greatly, I have to kill my flesh. God ain't going to do it for you. I know some of y'all pray, God, take away my sex drive. Listen, that ain't my prayer. I'm going to need it one day. I'm going to need it one day. Be careful what you pray for. It's just that I have to beat that desire down until I need it. Otherwise, you're weak to your own flesh. And if you're weak to your own flesh, you'll be strong against God. I say again, if you are weak to your flesh, you will be strong against God. You will always come up with excuses for why you can't do something for God when you're weak to your flesh. Gluttony means a lot of things, but it can involve overeating and drinking too much alcohol. It has to do with healthy eating and what we're choosing to put in our bodies. 1 Corinthians 3:16 and 17. We read it. You're the temple of God, right? Anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy that person. For God's temple is sacred, and you together are that temple. His temple is sacred. Where are you taking his sacred temple? What are you putting in his sacred temple? There are 5 types of gluttony. I don't think I'll get through all 5 tonight, but there are 5 types of gluttony. As I'm going through this over the next, it ain't going to be 10 minutes because y'all ain't going to let me do that. 10 minutes, think to yourself about which ones you relate to the most here. Sorry, y'all, they didn't separate them. Okay, here they are. Number 1 is eating too soon. Number 2 is eating too expensively. Number 3 is eating too much. Number 4 is eating too eagerly. And 5 is eating too daintily. Daintily. Uh-huh. Oh, he said, dang, you just can't escape sin, can you? Daintily. Picky, picky eater. Pick. Okay, all right, wait till we get to that one and I'll describe it to you, okay? All right. Number 1, eating too soon. Eating too soon. This means snacking and eating outside of set meal times. The Bible example is King Saul's son Jonathan eating honey in 1 Samuel, the 14th chapter. That what I said? Snacking is a sin. That's Beelzebub got a hold of you. He over here just preaching to it too. King Saul and his soldiers are going to battle. Saul makes an oath that no one will eat until sunset, until after they've won the war. That's the vow that he made to God. We will not eat until sunset, until we win this war. All the soldiers agreed. The soldiers are walking through a forest, and they pass a giant honeycomb over them. Jonathan eats the honeycomb anyways, even though they will all get fed that evening at dinner. The king's son is the one to disobey. The honey just looked so good, but somebody should have told him, don't touch that honey. Don't look at honey. Don't smell honey. Don't talk to honey. Leave honey alone. In our culture today, eating too soon manifests in different ways. Many people mindlessly snack just to snack. You get that, Dignus? Mindlessly snack just to snack, even if they're not hungry. A lot of times people are just bored and they go to the fridge impulsively, usually to eat unhealthy calorie things like chips, desserts, or candy. You heard. People do this out of boredom. I'm bored, so People do this out of boredom, but also sadness and stress. When I'm sad, I eat. When I'm stressed out, I eat. When I'm bored, I eat. I eat all day. I eat. It's called gluttony. Unnaturally salty, fatty, or sugary food is a dopamine hit. For a lot of people, eating can literally be a way to find happiness, comfort, and relief. Eating gives a dopamine hit. Make you feel good for a moment. I heard Dignus just talking about that chocolate. You eat that chocolate, just make you feel good just for a moment. Yeah, I always watch. I heard all y'all. Oh no, I listened to her at the mic. The problem is that we really should be going to God with what is hurting us and stressing us out, using prayer rather than numbing our emotions with food. Using prayer rather than numbing our emotions with food. Another aspect of eating too soon is being so rushed to eat that we don't stop and pray before our meals. Come on now, that's up in the house. You done ate and ain't even thought about saying, Lord, bless the food. It's too late to bless it. It's already in you. Monks have a no snacking policy in their monasteries, and that's how they overcome eating too soon. it wasn't even possible for them to do it. You eat at meal times only. You will notice that if you train your body to eat at meal times and meal times only, and you eat a healthy meal, you will live a healthier life. I don't mean healthier as far as, losing weight, which you probably will lose weight, but I mean a healthier life as far as mentally, emotional, and physically. It will train your body to get a regular sleep routine. When your body gets a regular sleep routine, you have longer life. You have longer life. Notice that the further we go into these end times, people are dying younger and younger and younger and younger from natural causes even. It is because in biblical days they had sleep patterns, routine. Okay, let me put it like this. Okay, so ladies with natural hair, right? Even though you don't have a relaxer, you can train your hair to lay a certain way by using a what? A routine. He said, he said jam. That's not training, that's packing it. Um, but what you have to do is you have to train your hair to obey. That can't happen when you're wearing 11 different styles. People with natural hair can train their hair to wrap, even without a relaxer, because you're training it. But it takes work to train. I ain't got time for it. I put a wig on. I barely got time to train. You know what I'm saying? Anything, I ain't gonna train no hair. Just gonna put it in a ponytail, put a wig on. Ain't it pretty? Number 2 is eating too expensively. Eating too expensively. Eating too expensively and seeking delicacies or extravagance with what you're eating. The Bible example of this is the story of the Israelites. God had freed them from slavery through all the epic plagues against Pharaoh, and he had parted the Red Sea. They are traveling through the desert on their way to the promised land. God does this amazing miracle where bread falls from the sky every morning and it meets all, somebody say all, it meets all of their nutritional needs. Yet they start complaining and grumbling because they think it isn't good enough, even saying that they'd rather be back in slavery than to have to eat this food. They ain't had to work for it. It just fell in their lap every morning. Listen, when I read about it, it looks like a type of a raisin, you know, and they were cooking it. They were turning it into some type of bread. They were boiling it. They were eating. They were able to eat it fresh, just like it was. It's like when we eat oodle noodles. You know what I'm saying? When I was in college, I could give you 101 ways to eat oodle noodles. You just got to be creative. Oodle noodles and sausage. Oodle noodles with some onions and green peppers. Well, you know what I'm saying? Hey, make some yolk, some chicken, and some boiled egg. Hey, 101. I could have wrote a cookbook, 101 ways to eat some oodle noodles. Because when I was in college, it was 12 packs for $1. hmm They could only eat when it was time to eat. When they tried to save it to snack, there you go. Routine. Eat when you're supposed to, how you're supposed to. Otherwise, something rots. And see, they had no choice because he rotted it. We have a choice. It's rotten in us. I'm just saying. Numbers, the 11th chapter, verses 4 through 6, reading from the Message Bible, says the misfits among the people, because y'all do realize that it wasn't just the Israelites. The Israelites left from Egypt, but they picked up a bunch of stragglers. I need y'all to realize that. So when you allow the stragglers to encamp with you, they become you. So whatever the stragglers did was looked upon as the Israelites as well. I just need y'all to realize that. Who you hanging with? Because I need y'all to read this and see this. I need y'all to read this and see this. The misfits, the stragglers that came along, among the people that didn't know God, the people that did not understand the slavery that they was just brought out of. They just see this movement and they going with it. They don't know the struggle behind the movement. Okay, all right. So the misfits among the people had a craving, and soon they had the people of Israel whining. The stragglers start complaining about their God, and eventually they had them complaining about their own God. Now they was whining and complaining, but they didn't know God. They didn't know where they had been brought from. But you hanging around people that's whining about your God, eventually you start whining about them too. Boy, y'all better. Who you hanging with? Who you hanging with? So they had the people of Israel whining. Why can't we have meat? We ate fish in Egypt and got it free. To say nothing of the cucumbers and melons. Now they ate fish in Egypt and got it free, but they had to catch it. Pharaoh ain't catch the fish and give it to them. So why can't you catch them for yourself now? You want Moses to do everything? You want Moses done already led you to freedom. Now you want him to catch the fish and feed them to you too? Okay, all right. I just want y'all to get this new translation here. We ate fish in Egypt and got it free. To say nothing about the cucumbers and melons and leeks and onions and garlic. But nothing tastes good out here. All we get is manna. All we get is food falling in our hands. All we get is all the nutrients that our body needs to be healthy. Healthy. That's all we get. It sounds silly, but they were silly. What was really silly about it is they had the people, the stragglers that didn't know their God, to lead them into that. Not the one who led them into freedom, but the stragglers who just joined in. Not their fellow slave buddies that was making the bricks with them, but somebody who been free all their life. Don't know what it is we came through. They don't know our struggle. If they knew our struggle, they wouldn't be complaining. See, they've been free the whole time. They won't get beat. But you know what it's like to be in bondage. Why you gonna let a free person who ain't never been in bondage tell you how to be, and you know who God brought you out of bondage? I just wanted to read the other versions. The NIV says the trash with them began to crave. English Standard Version says, now the rabble that was among them had a strong craving. King James says, and the mixed multitude, the mixed one that came in and mixed in with them, that was among them, fell a lusting. craving, desires, lusting, gluttonous. Okay? New American Standard says the rabble, the trash who were among them, had greedy desires. They got greed. Okay? American Standard Version says, and the mixed multitude that was among them lusted exceedingly. They lusted exceedingly, and their lust flowed over to the people of God. Their lust was so strong. Who you with? Who you with? Who you with? Their lust, they lusted exceedingly, and so they lusted so much that it made the children of Israel begin to lust. Fish. The Darby Bible translation says, and the mixed multitude that was among them lusted. The next one, for a mixed multitude of people that came up with them burned with desire. English Revised Version, the mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting. The rabble who are in its midst have lusted greatly. They had a gluttonous craving for what they could not have at the moment. Not what they could not have ever. Catch that. What they could not have at the moment. God did not tell them that they were going to have manna for the rest of their lives. He was supplying for them in their wilderness. He was supplying for them in a desert place where there could be nothing grown. So I'm going to look out for you while you can't look out for yourself. So instead of honoring and respecting the fact that he's looking out for them when they can't take care of themselves, they say, manna, manna, manna. All we get is this doggone manna. Making us healthy. Making us strong. All we get is this manna where our shoes never wear out. All we get is this doggone manna where our clothes never went too small. Because, see, they didn't look, just like us when we don't pay attention to the small blessings, they didn't look at the fact that y'all been out there. How long? 40 years? They didn't have no new shoes. Somehow their clothes grew with them. There was nowhere to go and buy or make fabric. But somehow God's miracle, when God gives us those subtle miracles, we ignore them and we take them for granted. But the Bible specifically speaks that their shoes never wore out and their clothes didn't grow too small. Wait, they had kids out there. Where their clothes come from? You understand what I'm saying? God's doing all this stuff, and they complaining about the nutritious food that he's giving them. Remind me of myself. I don't know if it remind you of you. But when y'all having those Monday ministries, and then y'all talking about healthy food night, I be like, manna, manna, manna. All I see is manna. I be hot. Where the chicken wings at? Where the pizza at? Come on, ain't nobody cook no pasta. Monday night I came here, all we had was tacos in the marriage ministry. I was like, let me go see what the singles got to eat. All I see, and then it tore my stomach up. Before I could even get home, what did I go back there for? Before I couldn't even leave this building before it had me tore up. I was just walking around here like this. Manna, manna, manna. And I ain't cooked nothing. Manna, manna, manna. I'm real with me. Y'all be real with you. I'm real with me. That's all we got. What you cook? The word. The manna. Yes, sir.
I know you're talking about like food and stuff, but this also could be applied to like the lessons and stuff that y'all teach us too, right? Like as far as like same thing over and over, like I want something else, I want something different. People.
Nothing is ever good enough. I'm not learning how to be content in whatever state I am in. Okay? In today's culture, in today's world, eating too excessively or extravagantly can involve things like going out to eat a lot, even excessively getting Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, going to expensive restaurants, or getting $5 Starbucks drinks all the time. I don't understand y'all paying $5 to $8 for a coffee. I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven for $1. I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna get there. Okay, so listen, let me tell you what drinking coffee does in the morning before you eat. Okay? When when you drink coffee, which has caffeine in it, caffeine is a stimulant. When you take in a stimulant, it curbs your appetite. So what'll happen is when you drink coffee in the morning, it will make you skip breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of your day. So you already put yourself nutritionally behind the curve because you're trying to operate throughout the day without giving the body any nutrients. Okay? And because it's that stimulant, it curbs the appetite so you don't even be hungry. But you're forcing your body to work without any energy. Then you push back your eating schedule because you skip breakfast. You push back your eating schedule, which means you end up eating dinner very, very late at night. When you eat dinner late at night, now you go to sleep and you lay down with that food still in your body, and then you're wondering why you're getting big because you are not getting your energy in the morning when your body needs it. You're putting energy in and laying down on it. I try to preach. You know, if I don't want to eat, drink coffee. I'm not saying you can't drink coffee in the morning. What I'm saying is if you only drink coffee in the morning, if you only drink coffee in the morning, then what you're going to do is make your body hungry. But you're forcing it to work without feeding it. It's like forcing a car to go without putting gas in it. So that's why I tell y'all never let your car. What is going on? Never let the tank of your car go down on E. Because when you let your car tank go down on E, every car gets trash and stuff in your gas tank. When you let your gas tank go down to E, all the trash and stuff that's collected in your gas now goes through the exhaust system and it messes up your stuff. That's why you got to go and get it clean. Your tune-ups and get clean because if you keep your tank full, all the trash stays at the bottom. If you get gas in it again, before you get to the bottom, the trash stays at the bottom and your car takes in the gas that's on the top. Stop running your car till it's on E. And then wonder why your carburetor messed up. It's clogged. It's clogged up. That's why I tell y'all when you're going to get gas, never stop at a gas station when the truck is putting the gas in. Never stop there. Go find another gas station. Because the same way all the trash collects at the bottom of your tank, all the trash collects at the bottom of the gas station's tank. And so when the tank comes in and he's putting in the gas, it stirs up all the dirt. So when you're pumping your gas while the dirt's stirred up, you get the dirt. Just tips. Even going out to fast food a lot. You count up your meals. You can't go get a whole meal at even McDonald's now you need $7. You know what I'm saying? You know, it used to be a $3 meal. You know what I'm saying? They drink the fries and the sandwich. Yeah, times ain't like that no more. You know? So you have got to realize how much money you are wasting in extravagant eating and realize, my brother, my sister, you're being gluttonous. You're wasting money eating out. Majority of y'all that I done sit down to help you work out your finances and work out your budget, the reason why I tell you the first thing you're going to bring to me is your bank statements for the last 3 months. Because you might clean it up in the last 2 weeks because you won't meet with me. No, I want your bank statements for the last 3 months. Because in this house, I'm going to go all the way down all this money you done spent eating out. But yet you say you broke. Yet you can't pay your pledge. You can't give a love offering. You can't tithe. But your tummy, your gluttonous tummy, is taking all the money. But you say you ain't gluttonous. Your bank statements say otherwise. This could be considered gluttony because all of the money that adds up. Basically, it all comes down to choosing to cook most of your meals at home. Oh, but we can't do that because we got that demon of sloth coming up. I'm gonna stop right there. Let y'all say long on that. We got that sloth demon coming. Cook home. I don't know how. Listen. Anything that you want to do these days, and I mean anything, you can Google it or YouTube. I don't know about TikTok. Can't validate that. But let me tell you something. Listen, everything that Dick and Campbell tell you, everything that I want to do at my house, I find a way to do it. Whether it's sanding down my entire stair rail, I sand that whole puppy from all the way down, get it to the bare bones so I can make it look natural like I want it. To the turf in the backyard, to digging up the entire front yard, grass transplant. I ain't know how to do all that. But if I want to do it, I'm going to apply myself to figure it out. Y'all problem is, sloth got a hold of you. And you're too lazy to take the time to go learn it, or too lazy to actually do it once you learn it. It's not that you don't have time. You don't make time. Because you have time, God gives us time for anything that we need to do. Now, if you add up all your eating out, all your retreats can be paid, all our trips to New York, South Carolina, where else we go, Georgia, Statesville, all them trips can be paid for. Your pledges, California trip paid for. Because when we went to California, we did bare minimum. I think, we went to California for a week, right? $1,000. That was including the flight and the hotel in California and the hotel in Las Vegas. And we stayed at a nice hotel in Las Vegas. It was only $1,000 a person for a whole week. Because I'm thrifty. Well, what I'm saying is anything we do in this church, if you stop eating out, if you stop saying, I ain't got it, and look at where it's going, you can roll. Any questions concerning tonight's lesson? Y'all show? All right. We'll finish out what I got to number 2? Yeah. All right, we'll finish the next 3 next week. And hopefully we'll get started on the next demon as well. Until then, don't let Beelzebub take you out. No, don't go home and make oodles and noodles because you can't eat this late. I hope you don't like none of the demons. He's talking about, I don't like this demon. What I'm saying to you is, if you get up and eat breakfast in the morning at breakfast time, and then you eat a normal healthy meal at lunch and a healthy meal at dinner time about 6, you won't be hungry this late. You have see we have to train our bodies not to want food this late because that's gluttonous. See, y'all gotta realize. I know you don't hear it like this, but it's instead of us training our bodies, the demon has trained us. Yeah, I thought you.
My question is like, oh, what about like if you got a high metabolism and like you burn off food like fast?
Cameron, if you eat a full nutritious meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you won't be hungry for another meal. You're eating here and there. You're snacking. So yeah, you're hungry tonight. You're snacking. That's why you're not supposed to snack. We snack to keep ourselves going through the day, and then we just late at night realizing our stomach is like, you ain't fed me. But then you feed your stomach this big old meal and then wonder why you got a gut. Because you're putting all that food in and laying down on it. You're laying down on it. Well, I don't know about a stomach ache, but I know that you're all the fatty food and stuff that's in there, it gives it. Okay, the way our bodies is made up, we eat and it goes. It's supposed to go through. Some of us don't boo boo every day. That means there's something wrong with you. It's you're not healthy. I'm telling you because I was one of them people. We say it's slow metabolism. No, it's your digestive tract is jacked up. It's jacked up, and you need to get some probiotics so that you can get your digestive tract on track. Because every morning you wake up, you should have a dump. That's called healthy. It's called getting rid of the waste. Because see, once your body has taken everything it needs from that food, as long as that food continues to sit in there, now it's taking fat that you didn't need. Okay. Your body naturally takes all the nutrients it needs from the food and passes it down. That means we got all the vitamins, everything we need. It passes it down. It's supposed to now leave the body because it's considered waste. But it stays in the body, which means you get toxins. And since it's sitting there, now fatty tissue that would have been gone had you ate during normal hours. Fatty stuff that should have been gone is now having the ability to just attach itself inside of you. If you eat late at night, you're going to have a problem with weight. It's going to cause heart trouble because you're eating this heavy meal full of fat. And now you wonder why your heart having to work overtime. Because, listen, your heart is supposed to be at a rest state when you at a rest state. But your heart can't be at a rest state when that body got to pump to digest all that food that you just ate. So you ain't giving your heart no time. I ain't trying to give y'all a health class, but I'm just trying to tell you, you need to eat first thing in the morning. Start laying in the bed at 12 o'clock and then eating breakfast. Because now you've trained your body that 12 o'clock is breakfast, 5 o'clock is lunch, 10 o'clock is dinner. You eat that dinner, you lay down on it. Gluttony, Beelzebub, has trained you to destroy your body. Yes, ma'am.
You know how you're supposed to eat 3 meals a day? Mm-hmm. Is it still bad to snack in between? Or you're not supposed to snack at all?
The thing is, if you eat 3 full nutritious meals, you wouldn't want to snack. We snack because we're not giving ourselves full meals.
Okay, so it's still bad to snack.
Listen, it's always bad to eat a bunch of sugary foods. That's always bad for you. Especially when diabetes running your family. That's the last thing you want to do is be snacking when diabetes running your family. Yes? Man, you know we ain't eating that mess. Manna, all that doggone manna. How you gonna raise your what celery sticks you eat? Oh, you asking for somebody else. 'Cause I know you ain't eating no doggone carrots and celery. Try to play me. Shoot. Why would you need to wait so late to take your medicine? I have to take medicine before I go to sleep, but it's medicine that don't need to be taken with food because I take all that with food during the day. I take 27 pills. I got to spread them out when I need. 27. Y'all forget I got lupus, right? Then you shouldn't need a meal with it. If it's medicine that makes you sleepy, take it and go to sleep. You shouldn't need a meal. You shouldn't need a meal. Anytime it says take at night, you don't need a meal with that. The doctor's not going to prescribe you something to take at night when you have to have a meal with it. Then that means you take that pill with your breakfast, your lunch, or your dinner, but not right before you go to bed. Eat. Okay. Yeah, I don't take medicine on an empty stomach other than medicine that's supposed to be taken on an empty stomach. You know? Yes, ma'am. Because you've trained yourself that way. You and Beelzebub done trained yourself. I need to eat to stay focused. I'm not saying this just to put her on the spot. I'm saying this because I need y'all to see how sly these demons are. They slick. What you got? And Tiffany, you don't eat meals. That's your problem. You don't eat meals. And you can eat. So if you can eat, I mean, you're a small woman, but this chick, she can eat. You know what I'm saying? So if you can eat like I've seen you eat, but you only eat a little bit, you're going to be snacking all day because you never gave your body the real meat. And the sad part about it is y'all got to look at what you're snacking on. Because you don't eat a nutritious meal, you're snacking on junk, which is taking energy from you, not giving it to you. It gives you a fake high, but it drops you to a very real low. And you can't sleep at night because your body can't even go into its natural rest state without the nutrients that it needed so it could rest. Ah. It's not a sin to eat. It's a sin to eat unhealthily. Yes, yes, yes. It's not a sin to eat, but to eat unhealthy, where it's unhealthy for the temple. Yeah, you're destroying the temple. Why wouldn't that be a sin? Let me destroy the temple ignorantly. Let me stay ignorant. What you got? Yeah, yeah. But you know, if it's if it's gluttonous towards TV, you already know that's wrong because it becomes the idol. Anything that you do more than God becomes your idol. Anything you do more than God. Check your hours on your phone. How many hours do you get on your phone a week And how many hours do you dedicate praying? It'll make you shame of yourself. If you got any shame in you, it'll make you shame of yourself. My goal would be to have less hours on my phone than I had the last week. That way y'all don't never see me on Facebook no more. Because I'm like, ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to be looking at my phone talking about some doggone 5 hours. That's 5 hours. I could have did something productive. And y'all don't have 5 hours. Y'all be having like 30-something hours on the phone. Don't, don't play. Pull it out now. Y'all be having 30-something hours on the phone. I saw 5 and was like, oh, no. That 5 hours can go towards something productive. You're working in my yard. You dog gonna skip it. Your yard ain't gonna get done by his doggone self. That's right, 5 hours in my yard.
Okay, so like, what if a doctor had like prescribed you to snack in between meals? Is that still gluttonous?
But that's because you're so skinny. They wanted you to gain weight, right? Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
Thank you.
But here's the thing. If you eat 3 nutritious meals, that's gonna help you gain weight by itself. He telling you to eat more because you ain't eating enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he telling you gain some weight. I can see that. After a while, they're gonna give you a drink to make you hungry. Your blood can't be healthy without your nutrition. Y'all realize this? Your blood cannot be healthy without getting all. See, when I teach these vitamins class, I'm not teaching these classes just for y'all to buy vitamins from me. What I'm trying to get y'all to see is I'm supposed to be the sickest person in this room. My immune system fights against itself. I'm supposed to get anything to come by me. Somebody sneeze, I'm supposed to get it. Because lupus kills your immune system. But because I know this, I take the necessary vitamins and nutrients to build my immune system up. And my immune system better than half of y'all's, and y'all ain't got no lupus. Because I'm going to take the nutrients that I need because I love my body. I love this temple that he gave me on loan. So I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure that this temple is fit. Are you doing what you can do to make sure your temple fit? Y'all are coming, y'all won't even take a doggone multivitamin. Come on, you know you don't eat right. You know you don't eat right. I done told y'all to take calcium. Y'all listen, y'all young and your teeth already falling out. I'm 50 years old. I got all my teeth and they strong. But I take 1,200 milligrams of calcium every day. And African American people, you're not realizing that at this point, our people are constantly dealing with bone degenerative disease. Our people are dealing with that now. And it's because we don't have calcium and we don't get vitamin D. Natural vitamin D comes from the sun. Black folk run from the sun. I can't be in the sun, so I take vitamin D twice a day. But my bones are healthy. But lupus is supposed to be deteriorating me. It's supposed to be, my bones supposed to be deteriorating. Man, you only get one body. You only get one. Don't destroy it and then pray for somebody to build it up.
AFC announcements. TCO and GAD will be meeting Saturdays, March 25th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please see Brother John Wilson for TCO and Deaconess Gabby and Deaconess Tiffany for GAD. Outreach Ministry will be meeting at the church this Saturday at 1 p.m. See Deaconess Brittany for all information. Youth Sunday theme Sunday is all types of ball caps. It's all types of hats from ball caps to beanies. Youth ministry is this Monday, the 27th, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. They are asking for donations. If you would like to donate or have any concerns, please see Sister Francine. Pound list is out. Please see myself for more information and sign up. AFC's annual Women's Hat Day will be held Sunday, April 2nd. There is a $25 due to participate. We have a $1,200 $1,200 go to be used for the 2024 Women's Conference. Get your best First Sunday attire and model walk for Jesus ready because it will be you that wins the prize. Our pastoral anniversary is April 22nd to the 23rd. The pastoral roast will be held on the 22nd at 6 p.m. The theme is Wild Wild West. Tickets will be $20 for adults and $10 for kids ages 5 through 11. Food Bank Ministry is in need of drivers, including tomorrow. Again, Food Bank Ministry is in need of drivers, including tomorrow. Please see Deaconess Lisa or Minister Afia for sign-up. Food will be served in the fellowship hall after service for all your needs.
Hello, everybody. So just as Ms. T said, we are really in need of drivers. We need one tomorrow. So far, we've missed 3 pickups this month. So if you can pick up tomorrow, please see me tonight. It's very, very imperative. So please see me tonight, all righty? Thank you.
Nelson has his hands up. Hey. I'm trying to figure out how she got here. Like we mentioned, the anniversary is coming up. I didn't realize it was coming up, but it's coming up very quickly. We have about a month. So by now, your tribe leaders should have already gotten with you, so we can get these practices in for the roast that's going to happen. It's actually because we're going country this year. It's actually a rodeo show. So I need you guys to be y'all excited? Sound fake to me. So for real, get with your tribe leaders so we can go ahead and we get them practices in and everything. We got the grog bowl coming, everything. Everything is going to be amazing. I am excited about this year. So please make sure you guys are getting with your tribe leaders. I don't want at the last minute be like, I don't know what tribe I'm in, or I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Start now. I'm letting you guys know now. Start now, getting with your tribe leaders so you guys can get your practice and stuff in. So how you get here? Stand to be dismissed. Oh, Lord. Lift all the gluttony up. Look, all the gluttony up. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. God, we thank you for this lesson. It was hard but worthy. God, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Lord, can you just eliminate all the good food so we don't have to fight with it no more? Send us back to manna, Lord. No, I'm for real. I'm sorry, Jesus. I know I played too much. I'm sorry, Jesus. I'm sorry. All right. God, I thank you. Thank you for this lesson, God. I thank you for the woman of God that taught the word. God, I pray even now, God, that we continue to lean on this word, God, that the spirit of gluttony doesn't continue to hold us down. God, I pray even now, God, that the wisdom that was spoken in here, God, rest on us each and every day. God, that we can speak against the spirit when it comes up against us. God, I pray even now, God, that as we leave this place, God, we never leave your presence, God. Until we meet again, it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.